Hey everybody, welcome to Module 5 coaching call. And today we're going to be covering all the questions that you guys have submitted for Module 5. We're going to talk a little bit about what's coming, what to expect for Module 6, and just going to briefly touch on what's going on with the live event and everything. But we're going to wait a few more minutes here. It's only 2 minutes after, and usually about 5 minutes after the hour, we'll have the majority of the people on the call. Right now, we're just constantly getting people still calling in, so save us from having to get repeat questions. While we're doing that, though, let's do a little, obviously, what we do every call with the housekeeping. We'll just make sure that everyone can hear us loud and clear. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, hey guys, right on. All right, loud and clear, loud and clear. Okay, so I am not going to finagle with my mic this time. If you are having issues with hearing me, everyone is saying loud and clear right now. There's nothing I can really do about it, so I don't want to be wasting anybody's time. But other people are saying loud and clear, so that's cool. So Matt, can you say hello and just let us know?
Yes. Hey, everybody, welcome to the call. If you can hear me, please type in the box, yes, Matt. Hi, Matt. Hi, Matt. Yes, Matt sounds good. Matt, man. Cool. So everyone seems to be able to hear me perfectly.
All right, so perfect. Okay, so how's everyone's week going so far? Are we having a great week? Excellent. All right. So James, Kathy, Lorraine, oh, they're fantastic, busy and awesome. Yeah, no kidding. And who can believe overwhelmed? Well, Jennifer, uh, hopefully that ends up being a good thing because being overwhelmed at times kind of starts to feel like the norm when you're doing these kind of businesses. Actually, 1 second here.
So while Jason's at it, somebody did ask a good question, good housekeeping item. Time for the next coaching call for planning purposes. From now on out, for the rest of the remaining coaching calls, we're at the Module 5 coaching call. So we obviously have Module 6, 7, and 8 left for these weekly coaching calls. They're going to be at the same exact time. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, but they're going to be at the same exact time, 4 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays.
Yes, we eventually settled on this time to be able to try to appease everyone. This seemed to be the best time period. And believe it or not, yeah, we've only got 3 more modules to go. So yeah, we're unbelievable. Can't believe we're heading into module 6. But yes, it will be Eastern time, 4 p.m. So this is the time it will be starting every day. Congratulations to Chris. He mentioned yesterday he had $1,500 in sales. That's awesome. 1,200 so far today. Uh, Actually, and yesterday I had quite a few PMs of people wanting their badges for the sales. One thing to note when we're talking about the badges, and Matt, I don't know if we've actually come up with the process for that, but we'll put a communication together for how you can prove it's not going to be anything complicated, but how you can get those badges. We'll put something together soon.
Yes. So we've had our programmer implement, or one of our programmers implement a way for people to get to earn all the rest of the badges, because all the badges, most of the badges anyways, up until now have kind of followed like a linear path. Like you have to get your Seller Central account set up, then you have to get a product, then you have to find a supplier, then you get your first sale, et cetera, et cetera. But these other ones, just reaching different milestones in your business. So we're going to have a pretty straightforward way that'll be coming out, maybe this week, but let's plan on next week for you to be able to earn all those other badges. Because remember, we have badges for they're pretty much all revenue badges. We have badges if you're making 5 grand a month, 10 grand a month, all the way up until $250,000 a month in revenue. You just have to sort of submit proof like you did for some of the other badges. And yeah, we'll have all that available. So we know some people are absolutely cranking along, already earning those sort of things, which is awesome. But we'll have a way for you to submit verification pretty shortly here. So while we are at it, and sort of giving everyone a few minutes to get on here, I put this on the Facebook page. I'll go ahead and drop it in the chat box here. But we created the products you can launch for under $100, because I know somebody here. I don't know if I'll even be able to. Uh, Janice. I don't know if it's Janice G or Janice Egg. Either way, they're two together. But either way, she said still struggling to find a product. No problem. We realize there are a few people that are still in that sort of position, so we created a document just for you, which is now at the very bottom of Module 5. I just dropped that module into the chat box. So, probably want to check it out after the call. You can have a quick glance now, whatever you want. There's some stuff you really need to read in there, so it's probably better if you check it out later, but it is in Module 5. We announced that on the Facebook page, and we'll probably be including that in the next email update. But just so everyone knows, that is there.
Somebody's asking, we're going to actually, you know what? How about we get started here? We're at the 7-minute mark, so we'll just get started. All right, so welcome to Module 5 Week in Review and / coaching call. Today we're going to be covering all that matters with Module 5, and I've gone through all the questions submitted, and for some reason people even highlight it. Sorry, but this is a Module 2 question or Module 3. Well, sorry, we're not going to be answering those on the call. If you have specific questions like that, again, you can PM us or ask us that way. We're not wasting time on this call because everyone else is just wanting to be focused on this module. Everything has been going awesome. We're getting fantastic results being reported in already by quite a few members, which is really encouraging. And the cool thing is how you guys are willing to share those right away. Just even little things like that first sale. And you know what? If you're struggling to get that first sale, if you've got your product up there, once you start the promotion engine and once you start really promoting the product, you will start to get sales. Some products will grab on right away, others won't. I know some people that made sales, also dove right into doing some paid traffic on it, just to start testing things. And if you're comfortable already doing that stuff, go for it. We're not going to be providing any training on the paid traffic right now. Like, there's tons of opportunities out there between AdWords and everything, but right now we're not focusing on any of that. But this whole next module, we are going to be sharing a bunch of different traffic strategies, and we're going to really be focusing on getting the momentum started. And essentially, I'm just going to be providing you exactly what I did initially. Now, some people, I've gotten a couple PMs about this and everything. I need to make something very straight. I do not share anything that doesn't work. People say, oh, I heard Google say this doesn't work. For example, the spinning of the content. Well, if it didn't work, I wouldn't do it, and I wouldn't have you do it. Google will tell you whatever they want to, for the simple fact is they don't want you doing it because they know people can, shortchange the system for a fact. If you put together good quality content and do what I'm telling you to do, you're going to get results. I guess I just want to really re-emphasize that is I am not going to waste my time showing you strategies that are not effective. We're always going to be growing. We're always going to be changing. Perhaps in a few months, maybe some of these strategies will not work. But for now, they work very effective. The tool for the video tool with the spinning integrated is an extremely effective tool. Before you start shooting it down and thinking, oh, I heard this kind of stuff doesn't work, test it yourself and watch your videos rank really high and the traffic you'll get from them. So please, and I guess my encouragement for you here is don't be one of those people that's just listening to everybody else and haven't proven the steps for yourself. Just because somebody else told you something doesn't work, chances are they suck at doing it, and that's why they say it doesn't work. I'll show you the right way to do it and get results doing it. So that's what I'll promise you. The big thing to focus on, obviously, when it comes to anything to do with anything that we're teaching you is obviously quality. Whether it be your promotions or anything, focus on quality. If you want to sit there and just throw junk together, you're going to get junky results. So it doesn't matter if you're writing your press releases or anything. And I'm not talking about having to pay someone $100 to write a press release. But obviously the press releases, you need to have them a little bit higher standard than just a regular article. But at the same time, it doesn't need to be, award-winning material, but it does need to be good. And the more you focus on putting together decent quality for, creating, like for anything you do in regard from your listing to your promotions, the more effective your ROI will be, meaning your return on investment. And that's just something that I've proven to myself over and over again. So no matter what, if you're spinning the content or anything, make sure that you're still reviewing the content, that you're double checking the variations, that everything reads smoothly, and you'll get fantastic results. I wanted to hit on a little bit before we get into some more in-depth stuff on Module 5, the live event. Any people asking us, can we get an agenda, all this stuff? Well, no. The agendas and everything will be made available at the live event. Things are still very fluid. For example, just for the conversation I just had off, I have a CPA that's going to be showing up at the event. He's going to be presenting for about an hour covering all tax stuff. There's some really interesting tax news happening right now. It's actually perfect timing. But there's a lot of things that we're still changing, things we're identifying. So all we can tell you is the event will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday from 9 to 5, and it's going to be packed full of awesome information and some really some fun things as well, and you're going to get extreme value out of it. But no, we cannot give you in advance, especially right now, any type of agenda outline of what you'll be doing. Matt, do you want to hit on anything there?
No, I mean, the biggest thing is like that we're going to be starting at the live event. I mean, we're going to start things on time, end on time. We're going to start at 9 a.m., end at 5 p.m. So I mean, that's really all you should really need as far as planning purposes. I mean, we're going to have, obviously breaks in there, and then we're going to have lunch. Lunch will be, somewhere around 12 something. 12 to 1 or somewhere around there each day, but that'll be the general schedule. Other than that, because a few things that we're still planning on is having some guests come, so we have to plan around their schedule and that sort of thing is why we're not releasing a specific outline before we get there. Just make sure you come early and you stay until 5 p.m. because we're gonna keep things going all the way until then each day. But it's not gonna be one of those deals where we're sort of dragging it out till 7 p.m. and you're wondering when you can get out of there, that kind of thing. We're gonna try to stick to schedule.
I think we only have one evening where we actually have a VIP dinner planned, but other than that, and that's planned for. And I'm thinking. I'm trying to remember, and that's not for the general members. So really, that's the only thing in the evening that's solid planned. But what we can do is, I mean, obviously, if there's going to be something that we want you guys to be involved in after the 5 p.m. period, we would totally let you know that in advance. But as of right now, I can't think of anything like that we have. I mean, it's enough of a chore right now to get everything coordinated for that 9 to 5 time period. So, all right. Who's a VIP? Well, you guys are all VIPs. That's why I don't like calling it a VIP party, but it's more of a VIP dinner just for some. And you know what, Matt? I don't even know what it's. I guess we don't have to really get into it right now, but I'm not sure who it's for. If it's for top performers or what. But,
Yeah, mainly. It's mainly for a lot of the partners who, brought a lot of you all to us. I mean, some of them will be joining us, some of the speakers, and we may pick out a few people from the actual membership that have either been extremely helpful, some of the community helper people. Obviously, we can't fit everyone in there that's gotten one of those badges, but some of those people and some of the people that are really getting some really, really good results with their own Amazon businesses. I mean, it's going to be a very small group, so not something most people need to worry about. But yeah, it's just going to be one night.
Cool. And one thing, people obviously this is happening is there is going to be live streaming. So if you cannot make the event, there'll be live streaming, and we are planning interaction with that live streaming. So you will not just be sitting there looking at us. You'll actually, be able to submit questions. And actually, when we do some of the prize contest things, people that are watching live streaming will be able to be involved in some of those as well too. So I'm not going to hit on anything more there because we really want to focus on what's part of this call. And really the one thing I wanted to focus on today, everyone is, the cool thing is Module 5 is really a non-event from the aspect of everything else, especially Module 3. And I've seen a lot of people even say, I'm still on Module 3. And, I don't want anyone to feel, and I still get these PMs that, okay, so what's going to happen after the 8 weeks? Are we ever going to do these type of calls or anything? Well, just so you know, I mean, Matt and I are probably going to take a few weeks off after the live event, not abandoning everyone, but we're certainly going to have to take some breather room. But we're totally going to stay involved with everything. So I guess I really just want to put that to ease to everyone. This isn't an 8-week course where we're just abandoning. We're staying involved. This is a huge community that we're learning loads from. And so that's just going to keep continuing. Now, with Module 5, what we essentially did is gave you a way to get your initial product starting to get traffic. And one thing to note is there's nothing here that's absolutely set in stone. Everything that we're providing you is more or less like a general guideline minimum that we want you to do. If there's other systems you want to use, and what I mean by that, other promotion tools, other strategies, things that you're familiar with doing, by all means, like, do not think for one moment that this is the end-all be-all of anything. If there's other tools that you're getting effective results with, go ahead and use them, please. They'll just help you get better results. So never feel like you have to put your blinders on and this is the only, promotion strategies, there's nothing else to do. That is not at all the case. And the reason I bring that up is because I've had a few PMs asking me, like people saying, oh, I really, what about doing this? This is how I promote this stuff. So yeah, go for it. So the whole idea here is essentially all you're doing is your Amazon listing is a web page. And that's how you got to look at it. And you need to figure out, how can I get this web page to get traffic? And so you can do that with free traffic sources. You can do paid traffic sources. You could do, banner advertising, any type of things. And as we progress through that, these are things that we're actually going to be, providing more training on. For example, as we progress in this, we're going to be talking about media buying and about things like that. Now, we're not going to go into any in-depth on that, but we'll just give you some general guidelines and examples of, how to build, get banners built and all those things that you can test yourself. The reality is that every market is different, and some markets work really well with certain strategies and others don't. And what absolutely sucks about Amazon come the end of the day is they don't provide an easy way to track your results. And people ask me this quite often still, what percentage of your traffic comes from Amazon? And there's absolutely no way to know that. Amazon just lumps everything together. They don't give you conversion tracking for sources of traffic or anything like that. Now, to do those kind of things, I don't have a simple answer for that. Whether, one solution is you can try promoting your product with your Amazon Associates affiliate link, but then the problem with that is, well, you'll get conversion data, well, you're not getting SEO benefit from those links. So that's something we are always trying to figure out the best way to be able to track results. But essentially right now, the reality is, you're more or less just going from gut instinct and looking at trends with your sales. For example, when my product suddenly is like ranked #1 in Google, and I'm absolutely dominating it within Amazon, it doesn't take a lot of thought to realize, okay, there's a direct correlation here because this is a top level term and now I'm getting tons of traffic. But sad to say, those are what you have to go with, especially when using free traffic. And I know I was talking to someone just the other day who's actually implementing the AdWords strategy. I won't mention their name because I don't know if, they're on this call, but I don't know if they want me sharing that. That was a concern that person had too, is like, how do you track conversions? So there really isn't a way to do that effectively right now. Okay, hang on one sec. A lot of concern and question coming about the reviews, and I wanted to actually go into a little bit more in depth about reviews. One of the things that I think people kind of miss here, and perhaps I could be wrong, perhaps nobody misses this, but when it comes to actually the reviews on Amazon, there's really more than just the initial benefit. Now, for example, we've had people say, oh, I live in the UK, I don't really know anyone in the US. I've seen people asking in the forum, hey, if I send you a product, would you do a review? The one thing that I, first of all, want everyone to be well aware of is Amazon is really focusing in on that stuff. Honestly, 2 years ago, well, actually, even a year ago, you could load up on fake reviews like crazy. what really brought this to light about how bad it was getting and why Amazon put so many changes in was really the whole Kindle business model. And a lot of the training courses for that were really stressing the idea of posting fake reviews. And what ended up happening was people were really abusing it, and rightly so. I mean, it was an easy strategy to tie into, and the results were so effective. But now, and especially over the last year, it's a completely different animal. And if all of a sudden Amazon starts to see any type of pattern where reviews are getting done that obviously are from people that are in an interlinking relationship, you can really get into a lot of trouble doing that. And for example, I was PM'd about this, and I don't remember the whole details, and I could have totally misinterpreted, but there was an idea of having this review get together in Austin. And things like that can be really dangerous, especially if Amazon can see the IPs and the accounts, and if I do 3 reviews and that does 3 reviews and 2 of them are the same, and then someone else does 3 reviews and 2 match mine and 1 match theirs, you got to look at it from the perspective of what's the chances of 2 people in totally doing the exact same type of product reviews. And Amazon really will just remove the reviews, and if they see abuse continue to happen, they will potentially suspend your account until they look into it, and they'll ask you for an explanation. So just really be careful if you're going to be trying to do any of those kind of things. I'm not suggesting you don't. I'm just saying be careful, because it can really hurt you in the end. The best thing to do is to just ask people to do that. In the forum community, if you do want to do that, make sure you only ask for 2 or 3 people to do it max. And I'm sure I know I'd be willing to do that if I was in the community in that aspect as well too, if I needed others to do it. So I'm sure you could just ask in there. But what I also wanted to talk about was the whole power of reviews from an SEO perspective. And what ends up happening here, hang on, I just want to bring up my little guide that I'm going to be talking about. Basically, I look at reviews as the underused free link. And what it means is, and I've talked about this before, let's actually just go to Amazon.
Are you pulling up Amazon on your computer, Jason?
I am.
I think it's on a different screen or something.
Oh, I just moved it because I would hate for it to all of a sudden be logged in and show something. Okay, so on Amazon, we're just going to go to any, I don't want to use the whole, actually, we'll just go to this camera. What the heck? Now, what happens here is for every review that's created, first of all, and I've talked about this before, you get this awesome page right here that says Canon Digital Imaging product reviews. So that's the URL right there. So you've got a fantastic page right here that's totally optimized for the term review. People are always looking for the term review. If you look at any product, if you type, you go to Google keyword tool, put a product type, and then put review after that, you'll see there's always people searching for that. So here's something really important to know is this is a page you can optimize for and actually rank for. Well, the other thing is each one of these reviews are a page unto themselves as well. So if we scroll down, that's a really long one, but if we click on permalink, here is another page that is on Amazon, is considered a high authority page, but also links directly back to your product. So again, it's another link. And one of the things to note is that internal links on websites are huge. And from a search engine perspective, this is why you'll often see products ranking that might not have a lot of backlinks, but have a lot of reviews because the internal linking to those pages as well. Really, really powerful. Now, the other thing to talk about here is one of the things that I recommend you do is you want to have a review management system in place. And the challenge is a lot of time, I recommend you promote every single review page you have. So what you want to do is every review you have on your product, at bare minimum using the Alliance tool, the URL booster, grab this URL, put it in the URL booster. get some traffic to it, get some linking to it to get this ranking. But another important thing to do here, and this is what I do, is I have someone that responds to every single customer review. And my intent here is to create a better optimized review that has more content on it, because oftentimes you'll just get like a one sentence, review that doesn't really tell a lot, but it's positive. Well, you can respond to that review and say, thank you for this great, wonderful feedback. We take pride in all of our products and love it when our customers share their positive experiences. I hope you've also enjoyed the value, found value in the additional information we provided you, which highlighted the best way to not only use but maintain this great product. Our product is, I don't know, FDA approved. If it is, it depends on your type of product, and with just a little extra care with the tips that we've covered and sent you, you can easily double the life of this fantastic product. And see, what you're doing here is you're actually turning just a basic positive review into a true sales page, meaning that you're giving people that are looking at the reviews more information than they're actually originally going to get. You're really highlighting some of the other benefits that you offer as a seller to really encourage the people more. And the thing is, with the promotion tool, when you go into your tools area here, and you go to the promotion tool, let's go up there to the tools. I'm in a demo account right now, so where are we here? The promotion tool, this tool here. When you do a submission on here, as the training highlights in this automatically checks every week for any new positive reviews and then promotes those reviews. And so you're automatically already doing that. I recommend you also use URL Booster on that. But I hope you can understand how you can actually take those reviews and already have a positive one, really expand it into something much more effective. And on the other side of that, the other example, hang on one second here, I got to find the example I wrote. What if all of a sudden there's a negative review? Chances are, you're gonna get negative reviews. Sometimes it'll feel like this is the most fake negative review I've ever seen. It's almost like somebody's paying somebody to post negative reviews. Like, whether that happens or not, I don't know. But you can also take that negative review and turn it into something positive. Again, using the silicone spatula thing, say, the person can say, and you've put together your email follow-up. So you're using the email system, and in the email system you talk about maintenance and you address the main issues that most silicone spatulas have. Well, chances are, if the person's going to leave a negative review, they might leave something silly like, oh, this thing cracked and is no good. Then you could even reply, I'm really sorry to hear about the negative experience you're having. We 100% stand behind our product, and we offer a full money-back guarantee. So first of all, please don't hesitate to contact us. We don't see that you've tried contacting us at all. Contact us, and we'll work with you to ensure your 100% customer satisfaction. So right away, you're showing who's ever reading that negative review that, whoa, I care about this, and as a seller, I'm going to make sure you're taken care of. But then now you take the time to really, add some extra benefit, and you say, as covered in the detailed extra bonus instructions that we've sent you, this is often an issue with most spatulas, and chances are it's because you did this, like let's say, for example, like left it in the microwave. The funny thing is, majority of people never respond back when they leave a negative review. Now, I'm not saying, you put some bullcrap in there and make things up, but what you want to do is be upfront and say, yeah, with any silicone spatula, if you leave it in the microwave, over and over again, it's going to crack, and that's why we stress, no matter what, do not do that, or you will ruin the spatula. And the whole idea here is, again, how can you take this web page that is now on Amazon that's promoting your product and take it from a negative experience into something a little bit more positive? Any questions on that? Like, I hope not really seeing anything.
One thing I'll jump in here is one thing to to note, I'm sure Jason said this in the videos, but one thing to note is that, I mean, this stuff Jason's showing you is not just like fluff. It's not just stuff we do to fun to have some for fun, just to have some sort of marginal benefit on Amazon. We've done, internal tests where we've literally put up two nearly identical products, one doing this stuff, the other one not doing this stuff. The one doing all this sort of promotion, driving links and traffic from outside of Amazon, that product was selling about, 5 to 600% more than the other one. Literally no difference. Same exact product, same exact price, pretty much the same exact quantity and quality of reviews. Pretty much everything was exactly the same except for this, this one differentiator right here, which is doing everything you're learning in modules 5 and module 6. I mean, this stuff works. There's no doubt about it. Kind of tricky thing is some of it's a little tough to track. But the thing is, like, if you keep at it and you're consistent with what you're doing, I mean, the results are absolutely insane, and so is the payoff.
Absolutely it is. And a couple of people just asked, so you can use the URL boost for review URLs? Yeah, I said that. You might not have heard it. Absolutely. There are some pages on Amazon that are not search engine friendly, meaning Amazon actually, if you go to amazon.com/robots.txt, now this is getting a little bit advanced, but here, let me show you. If you go in here and you see where it says disallow, if there's any page on your site that is linked to, like for example, wish lists, then that was actually a test that me and Matt talked about a few months ago that I was trying. And what I did is I had a bunch of wish list things done just to see from an SEO benefit. Well, it did absolutely nothing. And then I thought, and I never thought of doing it at the time, but then I came to the Amazon/robots text file and I see, well, they're disallowing search engines from even finding those pages. So it does nothing. Any page on Amazon that does not fit into these, meaning if you put amazon.com in front of this little slash, if your URL does not contain this information, then it's a good page to be able to promote. Review pages are fantastic. And actually, one other little note here, not only are review pages, but if you look down here, let me get back to the product, at the very bottom, there's also, scroll all the way down here, a customer question and answers. Be watching that and seed it every now and again. I'm not talking about doing anything underhanded here, but put real common question and answers on here. Again, using the silicone spatula example, how can I prevent what's the number one reason or way I could prevent my silicone spatula from cracking? And get the answer right here. This too is content that then once it's posted, you can right here, promote this link that then talks about your product. And all of these little links that are pointing back to your product help in the long run because it's all helping funnel things directly to your product. We're still only scratching the surface. There's always going to be changes. Amazon's always changing how they do things. So, really I put the responsibility on you, but as a community, we'll always be sharing these things, is always try to keep your eye out and compare things. All of a sudden, if you notice there's a page that, you somehow can control, or even if you can't control, but that links back to you, and you can see it's not limited through the robots.txt file, promote it. Throw that URL in the URL booster tool and try to get some benefit from it. And those are, one of the strategies that I'm an avid tester, and I really, I've been doing SEO for a long time, so I'm always looking at these little loopholes where we can try to, really squeeze as much traffic out of. And really, try to always have those glasses on whenever you're doing something. Look at something and say, is this something that I can actually take advantage of to get more results from? Hang on a second here. Now, you ask, can the Q&A come from my IP address? Well, don't with your IP address. Personally, I would not log into my account and seed the question with my own account and, then put the answer in. You might want to ask someone or hire someone to do that. Have someone seed the question. and then have someone else answer the question. I have no I've never done it from the perspective of through my own account, and yes, I have done it where I've actually paid people to do that, because I simply wanted those question and answers put there. Now, if their question is already there from someone else, absolutely, you can answer them. So if you had someone seed a few of the questions, then you could just go in and answer them yourself as the product owner. And you can even introduce it that way. Say, as a product owner, this is what we recommend. So you can totally answer it that way. Can this type of, hang on a second. Should we boost negative reviews too? The only time I boost negative reviews with URL Booster is if, first of all, if it's not, you'll get seriously some really bad negative reviews after a while, especially once you start doing really well. And all of a sudden it'll be something so ridiculously stupid and far-fetched, you can't believe it's anything but fake. No, I leave those ones alone. But on the other hand, if it's a negative review that actually has a valid truth to it, meaning, for example, like I said, the person could say, it was a great spatula at first, but it cracked within 3 weeks, so I'm just not happy, and you gave it a 1 star. To me, that's not a really, really bad negative review. That's one you can actually work with and provide a solid answer for, and yes, I would promote that. Now, promote it, I wouldn't aggressively promote it. I'd put it once in the URL Booster, and that's it. But if you have some really good reviews that offer some really good feedback, like some really positive feedback, like that one that I showed we were looking at on this camera. I think it's this first one. Yeah, this is a whole article into itself. I'd be promoting this one every which way but Sunday, and I would also be using press releases to announce it, and I would really try to build that one up, because that is a solid review that you want people to be looking at. Okay, I'm just looking at the time. We do have to get into the Q&As. What I want to do, and I hope you guys got some value out of it. I hope, I really want to do some extra coaching on here to give you some extra tips. What I'd rather do right now, though, is I know, we do have a limited time, is I want to get into submitted questions, and then if we have time, I'll come back and answer some of the questions in regard to what we just covered. So let me get those questions up. Before I get going here, Matt, anything you want to add?
No, I think you've covered a lot of this stuff. The biggest thing is that what you'll learn in the module releasing tomorrow is one of the things that I mentioned in the welcome video for module 6 is that module 5 and really pretty much modules 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 all pretty much followed a linear path, meaning that there was one step after another that sort of needed to be done. Sort of in a step-by-step process. But now when you start getting into expanding more on what's in module 5 and doing stuff that's in module 6 and beyond, it's really where it starts, how much work do you want to put into this? The more press releases you do, you're able to do, somebody asked here, how many press releases can I do? You can do 3 press releases a day, which is insane. I don't do that many. Jason doesn't do that many, but you can. And if you want to get the biggest and best results, do that many. If you were literally to sit there and write them yourself, it'd be a pain in the butt. You don't have to. You can outsource it. But if you were to sit there and write them yourself, that'd probably take you all of, I don't know, an hour, hour and a half. But it could mean the potential between, you sort of, going along and slowly building your business, or your business absolutely skyrocketing. It really depends how much work you want to put into this, because these tools are available. They're extremely scalable. So you can really start ramping things up really as fast as you want to. And the more stuff you do with what we teach you, the bigger your results are going to be. Same thing with, getting other people to give you reviews and those kind of things, obviously completely legitimate ways like we teach, but the more of that kind of stuff you do, the bigger your results are going to be. So it's really up to you. We're still giving you awesome tools, awesome steps, still showing you different strategies that can be followed in a step-by-step fashion. But a lot of this stuff is resources you can use, strategies you can use to really the extent that you want to. So it's a big sort of shift now that, is a little different than what we've gone through up until this point.
And actually, and that's a pretty common question. People are saying, oh, do I have to use all these tools at once? The reality is, do what you can. with this module coming out, and actually I just finished editing, well, I still have a little bit of editing to do. I just updated the video for this whole traffic plan, this initial traffic plan that starts to use, like it has all the promotion tools used in it. The reality is, if you don't have time to be able to do everything, you just do what you can, but really we're giving you the bare minimum recommendation of what we do recommend that you do, because the reality is, if you don't do promotion, you are not going to get the sales, and I mean, it's just critical. You have to do promotion one way or another. Hang on a second here. A few of you have asked, when it comes to the tools, for example, the press release tool, can I promote other things other than Amazon product? Yes, you can. The only thing you cannot do is use affiliate links. So, if you have other websites or anything that you want to promote, you're allowed to submit up to 3 press releases a day. We manually moderate all the press releases. So if your press release, is not well written and is not newsworthy, it's not going to get approved. Newsworthy is not as complicated as I probably made it initially seem. All I mean by that is you're making an announcement of something news, like this is new news. We have a new price. This is new news. We've finally created. We're getting social. We've created social. ABC company finally jumps on the social bandwagon and has a brand. Finally has a Facebook page. You can always invent something that's a new announcement. Now, what the difference is the majority of those press releases are not going to get picked up from real media companies, meaning people that are looking to expand on this news story, that you might get a phone call from or whatever. Those have to be really unique and something different. The average new product announcement, things like that, chances are they'll just leave it because they're looking for something really interesting, but that doesn't mean there's still not huge value to it. That doesn't mean that there's still not huge interest in it and that you're going to be able to get a great benefit from it. It just means it might not go as far as you want. But all you need to do is focus on how can I make this something of a newsworthy story, that introducing it as something new. And the other important thing is do it in such a way that you're not putting in any call to action. So one thing you cannot do, because the sites that we use just won't accept it. And actually, on a side note to that, we have a huge expansion coming for the press release tool, where we're tying in with this huge network that we've just finagled the deal with. So we're really excited about that. It's going to really even explode the power of that service even more. It's a couple weeks away. The current system works really powerful too. Use it. But the whole thing here is the tool is very powerful, and use it. You don't have to submit every single day, but if you can, you're going to see huge results, absolutely. But even if you just submit once a week for your product initially, it's easy to do, and just make up things to write about. For example, you have your product announcement, and then you could have like a 2-day discount sale. You could have like a coupon sale. You could have just a 2-day sales price sale. With your listing, let's see if this listing even has it. When you're logged into your account, you can specify a sales price. I don't see this one. Why don't we show the price? Okay, well, this one's a little different, but you can specify what the price is and then what the sales price is, and you can set that sales price for just 3 days or something. So you can make an announcement about that. When you create your YouTube channel, you can create an announcement about that. When anything you change, when you update images, when you become ranked high in a category, you can say is now a best-selling product on Amazon. The sky's the limit here. You can really always come up with topics to write about. And then long term, because what you're going to want to do, and we recommend everyone have a company / brand website. So, and the reason is, when you're just starting out, it's not critical. It is helpful, but the reality is once you start making sales, you will have people that are skeptical or whatever try to search for you outside of Amazon. So, let's say again, the spatulas thing, if your company was ABC Spatulas, they're going to look online, understanding more about ABC Spatulas, and if they don't find any websites, that's going to come across a little bit scary to them, because they're like, well, who are these people? But if they find a website and they find other content online, like press releases and everything, talking about your company in a good way, well, that helps make your company seem a lot more safe and legitimate to them. But the other thing, by having that website, okay, we're talking about silicone spatulas here. Well, what is silicone spatulas related to? Cooking, baking, tons of cool things where you could always be adding new content to the blog about, even just recipes. And then what you could do is get press releases written about those new topics that you write about on your blog. ABC company gives away, for free 4 delicious cake recipes just to help with the, with Mother's Day or something that's coming soon, or, spring. It's so easy to think of topics like that. Yeah, I think I beat that to death, but I hope you're kind of getting what I'm talking about here. Hang on 1 second here. Okay, let me forget. We got to get back to the questions. When will we get outsourcer logins? Okay, so what we're talking about there was actually a little bit of a misunderstanding last week too. Somebody asked about getting overseas access to the membership, and somebody contacted me and saying, I don't think it's right that you're going to be providing access to people overseas who is going to get all this training for free. And I was like, well, no, you misunderstood. All we're talking about here is a sub-account access to the tools you specify. So for example, if you hired, say, an outsourcer on Odesk, and they were in charge of press releases, in your account you'll be able to enter in a username and a password that they will be provided, and when they go to asmcentral.com and use that, it'll automatically log them in only to the tools that you provide them access to. They will not have access to any training, and they will not have access to any personal information. The only thing you'll be able to control are the tools, and by default everything will be shut off, and you'll have to uncheck which ones they will have access to. Now, the programmers are working on that right now, and they said by next Friday that is more than enough time to have it completed. So by the end of next week we should have that in place, and essentially all you'll do again is you'll create an outsourcer account or a sub account, provide that person the access. But one thing to note, for example, with the press releases, how you can submit 3 a day, if they submit 3, that's all you have access to, and you will be held accountable for their efforts, meaning if they're trying to abuse the system, that will come back to your account, because essentially they're using your account access to do it. Now, that might sound threatening. I'm not trying to come across that way. I'm just letting you know that, again, here's that due diligence word. When someone's using it, you're going to want to check what they're doing, and don't just give them free reign with things, because a lot of times the outsourcers will just write poor quality content, and all of a sudden we'll be constantly rejecting it, and it's like, come on now, like, we don't waste our time. And anyway, we just need you to know you need to be responsible for them. Understanding the whole alliance system. Okay, so with the alliance tool, I don't know why I'm still on this camera tool here. The idea of the alliance tool right now, and obviously we're going to be expanding this, and I mentioned that. Right now is it focuses on helping you to vote reviews as helpful or not. And it actually, I think it'll be in by the end of the day today. And this was actually a good point some people had about, how can we protect our own reviews. So for example, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be able to enter your own ASIN numbers for your products. So for example, with this, there will be a form on here where I'll be able to enter in all my own ASIN numbers. And what that's going to do is prevent anybody else from doing any review voting of up and down on your products. Now, we have honestly never had that issue. This tool has been in use for almost a year now, and we've never had anybody complain about that happening. The reality is, could it? Yes. And for the members that brought it up, good idea. I like the idea of being able to add your own ASINs to be able to prevent that from happening. But all this tool does is, for example, when we go to this review right here, you'll notice when you look at this page, and I talk about this in the training, when you go to this page, this primary customer reviews section here in the middle is listed from most helpful customer reviews down. Now, what will sometimes happen is a negative review will have, like let's say all your reviews are, it's a new account, you have, 3 positive reviews on there, and none of them have been ever voted up or down. Well, then what happens is all it takes is one person to come in, put a slamming review on your product, and then have a couple people vote it up, even just themselves voted up as helpful. Suddenly, that'll be the first review that people see when they land on your product. You obviously don't want that. So the intent of this tool is to help you bury those negative reviews so that they're not appearing on your front page right away. And the other thing is when you actually click on this page to go to your reviews, you'll see it again lists them by default most helpful first. Now the other aspect of that is when you do get a really positive review like this one, it's really powerful to be able to get that voted up a little bit. So again, that's what that tool helps. It can help you vote up the positive ones and down the negative reviews. That's all that tool focuses on right now. But what we have coming very soon, you'll see here that all product display pages on Amazon also have Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. And these are 3 things that are also fairly effective from an SEO perspective. Now, I think some people over-exaggerate their effectiveness, but they are effective. And so what we're actually going to be doing is including jobs in the Alliance where you can get Facebook shares, Twitter tweets, and Pinterest pins as well for your product. And just a few of those can go a long way in just helping getting a little bit more incoming link diversity and validation and social proof for your product. So that's coming very soon, hopefully within the next couple of weeks, but we're working on the sub-account access too. And again, keep those ideas coming. I just had an awesome idea presented to me last night that was PM'd to me. I sent it to the programmers in charge of the email tool, and they're going to be implementing that. And what it is a templating system. So when you craft an email, you can actually save it as a template so that, and this isn't in place yet, I don't want anyone jumping on it, so when you add a new product, you could actually just use an old template that it'll fill in, and then you can just modify it however you want. So that was a great idea, so keep those ideas coming. And again, it was ideas from you guys for the ASIN numbers on the Alliance tool. When we start promoting our product, actually I'll let this one be for you, Matt. When we start promoting our product, should we try to price match our lowest price competitor or price it at a premium?
I recommend definitely pricing it at a premium. I used to recommend starting off with a lower price and sort of going up from there, but now I honestly think that it doesn't really matter. I think you're better off almost starting with a higher price. The reason is whenever you start doing a lot of promotion and you start getting sales at that higher price, Amazon will take notice and they'll be like, well, wait a minute, if this person's getting more sales and they're a higher priced, then Amazon's getting paid a percentage of your sales, 15% or depending on your category. So if that's the case, Amazon's going to be making more money, and you'll be making more money, obviously, by you having a higher price. So I definitely recommend just starting higher and keeping your price higher and probably going even higher once you get things up and running and more reviews and that sort of thing.
A question has been asked about using the tools. Okay, I need to let everyone understand something, first of all. People have been using these tools for over a year now, and if you're going to sit there and be so afraid and think that everyone's going to be looking at everyone else's products, give your head a shake. It doesn't work that way. Yeah, there might be someone that goes in there and starts looking at everyone's products. That doesn't mean anything. They can do that research right now and get a list of products. They'll still have to source and all those kind of things. If you don't want to use the tools because you're afraid of that, don't use them. But I'm just telling you that's foolish. The reality is people are not going to sit there and just watch. It's like, oh, what new product? I mean, your products, I mean, if you don't want to use the Alliance tool, don't use it. But the reality is, it's a powerful tool. This is a powerful community, and nobody's going to know that's your product specifically, and they're still going to have to do all the legwork to be able to get that product going. And you're soon going to find out that it's not like you can handle adding dozens and dozens of products. And if there's going to be, thousands of new products added in here all the time, no one's going to have, it's not like any one person is going to be in there stealing products and like expanding their empire. Like, it just doesn't work that way. And if people have the resources to be able to do that, well, I guarantee you they're not wasting their time and they're doing that. They've already got systems in place doing that elsewhere right now. So, not trying to like shoot the idea down too bad, but I just don't want you sitting there with this fear mentality. It doesn't work that way. The members don't do that. I've used the tools for all my products. I know Matt uses them for his. Like, it's just, they're there, and it's the way the tools have to work. So I wouldn't worry about that. What if we don't have an email list or a lot of Facebook followers? Can the listing booth method still be effective? Well, when I started promoting my products, I had zero email lists, zero Facebook followers, nothing. I was in a niche that I wasn't in. I'm an internet marketer. I'm in the internet marketing niche before I did this. I didn't have any massive lists or massive Facebook pages, so don't let that worry you at all. That's how the majority of people are starting. I mean, I'm pretty sure most people that are in this course don't have any type of physical presence. Those that do, good on you. You've got an asset that you can use. But if you don't, that's the whole idea. Now you can start building one, though. But if you do have one, or you can leverage one, absolutely use it. But Matt, I mean, maybe you can answer that one. Can the listing boost method still be effective, even if you don't have those assets?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the same thing applies to any source of traffic you can possibly get. We gave you a few different ways, Facebook, email, all that kind of stuff, but we realize a lot of people don't start off with those kind of resources. Funny thing is, some people, if you don't use Facebook whatsoever, I mean, that's a whole different thing, and that's still fine. Most people, don't use it from this sort of marketing perspective, but I mean, like the example I've given you all, like I know a couple guys that launched like a salt, literally, salt you buy in like a grocery store, launched that kind of product on just using their friends and family members from Facebook. Funny thing is, it's not like they have a, salt enthusiast list or something like that. I mean, that'd be crazy. They just ask their friends and family to help them out, and they just happen to use Facebook to sort of facilitate the process. Maybe you just start emailing your friends and family. Maybe you call them up. Either way, you don't need a whole lot of that. I mean, if you give a few of your friends and family the product to write a review and that sort of thing. I mean, it's all completely legitimate, but it's all completely natural, and you can get some good results. You don't have to have, some massive campaign to start out with. You just use what you have. If you don't have it, then you move on and use something else. That's why you have, a ton of different tools you can sort of use at your disposal, and you're going to be learning more ways to do it also in Module 6 that's releasing tomorrow. So I wouldn't get too caught up with the fact that, if you don't have an email list, don't have a giant Facebook fan base or friend base, it's not a deal breaker. Most people don't use those to actually promote it. Those are just a couple ways you can promote your Amazon product.
Some people are asking what the promotion tool does. That's all covered in the training and pretty in-depth. So I really don't want to waste a lot of time on this, but essentially what it does is it takes your product listing, it takes some content you add to it, and then it's tied in with, I've had tools, so I've got major networks of websites and everything that have been all built from other members or really niche specific sites. We've got tons of social sites created, plus we've tied into other services through their APIs and everything. And essentially what it does is just gives you this massive amount of promotions to your Amazon listings, and it just continually does that, so that it's as much as set it and forget it as you can, and we're always looking for ways to improve it as well. So, I mean, that's really all you need to know. It takes care of everything for you. The ad promotion tool, so this promotion tool, somebody asked, it's not compatible with Amazon.co.uk. Yeah, and actually one of the programmers mentioned that to me, and I said absolutely, work with the person to get it going. So if you find your country doesn't work with this tool, just contact support and they'll work with you to get it working for your specific country. So I know it'll be working for Amazon.uk very shortly. Should we be targeting the same keywords for backlinks and press releases as we're doing in our seller profile? I'm actually going to be expanding on that in this next module. And you know, I really don't, because I expand so much on it, I go into really great detail. I'd rather just hold that one off and just answer some other questions. Should I create a new YouTube account for my business or use my existing personal one? Absolutely, create a brand new one if you can. You want everything focused on your brand / topic. You know, it'd be much more effective, you know, again, to have, you know, a Facebook page focused on, you know, kitchen, you know, the country kitchen or something like that. And on that, you know, your initial videos are about the silicone spatula, and then as you add more products, you can expand that way, rather than, you know, John's videos and he throws in the occasional, you know, silicone spatula one. So you really want to focus it. Now, that being said, I'm hoping for tomorrow. I have received the all the video content today. So as everyone's aware, if you have access to the tools, you're going to be getting access to a system called the YouTube Mastery System. This is a bonus, a surprise bonus that I finally just got everything, all the details of it arranged yesterday. This is not some resale rights product that I just picked up that other people own. Nobody else has this right now. In the training material, in fact, one of the training components which teaches you, you know, one of the things it does is whether you're using Camtasia on a Mac or PC, or if you're on a Mac and also use ScreenFlow, it has training on how to use those effectively too for creating videos. And he's still finishing up some of the videos, so it's brand new, and it's from a guy called Dave Kaminsky, who actually owns, I'm trying to remember, Web Video University, I think it is. I've known the guy for a long time. He is the go-to guy when it comes to this stuff, and he's put this course together. He's given us the ability to give it to you. It's going in the members area, and it's all about how to get the most out of YouTube. So when it comes to any YouTube questions for right now, let's just hold off until you go through that training, because you know, that right there is easily, like, I mean, $197 value when you see all the, you know, videos and everything that's in the course. So you're gonna love it. Okay. My supplier got quite a few people asking about sales tax stuff, and with the new legislation that's coming through. Actually, when Matt and I were just talking, I just got off the phone again with the CPA that I'm working with from the States. He's actually going to be presenting at the live event, and we're going to have more training for you. Essentially, right now, we can't really give you any update because there's still legislation in process, but the bottom line is we're going to have you covered. And if you haven't even started making sales yet, really don't bother even worrying about it right now. And essentially, his guideline to me, and this is a, you know, huge disclaimer, I'm not providing you legal advice, but essentially he said, if you haven't, you know, sold at least $100,000 worth of product yet, you know, don't even, you know, take a moment to second think about this. Don't worry about it at all. If you're approaching on the $1 million, you need to seriously start understanding this new stuff that's coming up. We're going to give you as much answers as we can about this whole thing. We're going to lay it out as crystal clear as possible. So my advice to you right now is don't worry about it. It's not like tomorrow you're going to get audited and be responsible for stuff. From the way I understand it, this is new legislation coming in that is going to be, you know, implemented, causing you to have to start in certain areas to collect these. But the cool thing is, from what he told me, for people outside the U.S. that are completely non-U.S. based, you don't even have to worry about it. Again, that's all I can tell you right now. I don't really know much more. We're going to have tons of information on you, so just put that aside for now. Focus on your business, getting it set up, and in plenty of time before you need to worry about it, we'll provide you all those details. Okay, let me just look at these. A few people, I guess this is kind of a module 5. I've actually had a few people, you know, there's been a lot of people actually, you know, submit ideas for review tools, so ways to have tools to help people do reviews on each other's products. We actually don't want anything to do with anything like that. The reason why is we really are hesitant about putting anybody's accounts at risks with those kind of things. there are huge risks to it. We're not saying we're totally closed-minded to it, but the reality is you start getting, into some dangerous territory there. And me and Matt have talked about this over and over again. And, a year ago, it was a completely different story. Right now, it's something that Amazon is really against, is really coming down hard on. And it's, from our experience right now, it's just not worth it. That being said, we're open to all ideas, and if it is a sound enough idea, we'll look at it and get back to you on it. But we're not interested in having any system like that just right now. Okay. Lots of questions about the whole spinning thing. Again, I've already covered that, so I'm not going to talk about that anymore. How do I get free shipping with $25 minimum order to show up? I don't know, Matt. Do you have an answer for that?
Free shipping with 25. It should just be if you're using FBA, it happens automatically. If you're using FBA, then Amazon can group shipments between your product ordered and any other vendors using FBA, and it happens automatically.
How do I format press releases? There's no formatting that you have to do other than what's provided in the instructions. There's nothing special, but we do provide those instructions for submitting to the press release tool. Let me just see here. Can you do any retargeting with Amazon? No, you can't. There's nowhere that you can add any type of tracking codes, pixel codes, or anything within Amazon. So no. Wish there was, but you can't. Do you recommend doing the promotional tool or creating more videos weekly? The promotion tool is a one-time thing. You don't, once you submit your product with the promotion tool, you don't do anything. But in this new module, Module 6, we actually go into that. I'm going to provide you an initial get started kind of thing, like you've already been through Module 5, but this is going to, there's a mind map, a flow chart, and details that show you exactly what to do, and then it's going to talk about how you can crank this up. And the reality is the more you do, the more results you'll get. You want to be watching it, and really, it comes down to that whole elephant approach, how you eat an elephant one bite at a time. And the big thing I recommend you do, and we'll just use the silicone spatula example, is don't go for the aggressive term right away. You're going to want to find a variation of that term, for example, silicone spatula sets that you can focus on first to get rankings. The whole idea here is, if you go for a lesser term, you can then, and I'm talking about ranking in Google, just to make everyone clear, you can get rankings in Google a lot quicker for lesser terms, and those terms will start getting you traffic right away. It'll be a lot less traffic than the bigger terms, but those bigger terms can take sometimes months to rank for. So the whole idea here is start going for the lesser terms that'll get you instant results, and then as you continue to promote, you'll be able to start ranking for the bigger terms. Okay. And I think most people have seen it. Matt, I think you talked about it already, the products for under $100 to get started. Did we cover that?
Yeah, I covered that at the beginning of the call. It's if you look at the chat window, I think you could pull up the chats all the way from the beginning of the call. I'll go ahead and plug it in there again, but it's still in there. I don't know why this does this, but yeah, it's in the chat box either way.
Okay, so that's all the questions that were submitted initially, and well, actually no, here's another one. I can't create a % off discount in my promotion. It's not an option in the money off promotion. Money off, hang on. I'll have to look at it. I know you can, because I just created one myself, a new one for 50% off actually. I just can't remember the specific instructions right now, but yeah, I know you can.
So we're getting to the questions in the that are submitted live right now, right? We're done with the written ones?
I'm just doing one more quick scan here.
Okay.
Okay, here's the last one. I did see this. If you can comment on that. Listing the product without inventory, isn't this a negative if a customer wants it, we're unable to fulfill it?
If you list the product and you put that you have no inventory, like if you're just creating the listing, then it's not going to show up, it's no problem. If you list the product and you put that it's going to be available at some future date, which is long ahead of when you're actually going to get it, then that's also no problem, because even if somebody orders it, Amazon knows, that customer knows that they're not going to get it until long, long in the future, which most people are not going to order it because of that. But either way, you're fine. So no, it's not a big problem.
And the reality is, the whole thing is, okay, so what would you rather do? Have a couple people find your listing in the search engines, come to it, and see they can't get it, and then when your product's actually in, you're already ranking and getting all this traffic, or waiting and then having to start the ball 4 weeks later when your product comes in. The whole idea here is, I mean, if somebody comes to your listing and they see they can't buy the product, okay, so what? It's not like they're going to give you a negative review. They can't. They have to buy the product. You got to think, far, bigger than that. Don't just think about the few people that might come in, the first few days. Think about how awesome it's going to be when your inventory comes in, how you're going to have all these promotions already in place and already, active traffic coming. That's what the whole focus is on. All right, so we're done with that. If you have some questions flagged, maybe we can answer them from the...
Sure, sure. So yeah, so everyone knows, I mean, we have some that were submitted a lot earlier on, but we're covering only Module 5 stuff now. So this is, if you want to open up ASM Central, kind of get a refresher of what's in Module 5. It's all about the listing launch formula, things related to reviews, YouTube, press release, different forms of traffic, all that kind of stuff is what we're getting at. So if you have questions related to that, go ahead and start pumping them in the Q&A box now. We have tons of people on these calls, so we're likely not able to answer all the questions, but go ahead and pump those in there now while we pull some ones from from earlier on in the call. So this is a good question I have from Teresa. She says, how long do you do promotion? Forever? Until you get into the top 100 bestseller rank for 3 weeks? What's recommended before it becomes a little more hands-off? The honest answer is that you want to do it as an ongoing part of your business. I mean, the whole thing is like, we've all read the 4-hour work week. Oh, you just, create this business and it runs automatically and you never have to do anything ever again. That's not really the case. Now, you can build a business like that, but that's going to require somebody to be doing some sort of ongoing promotion, because if you stop doing any sort of promotion, trust me, your competitors won't. There'll be other people that are coming there that'll also be doing some sort of promotion. Maybe they'll only be doing it about 10% as good as you because they haven't had this sort of training, but that 10% adds up if they do it for, months and months and months while you do nothing. So what I recommend, and I'm sure Jason could sort of agree, is that, for now, like, you figure out how to do this stuff, you go through the training, you do the promotion, keep it going on a consistent basis, then at some point you can let other people, whether it's an overseas worker, somebody else sort of take over to do at least some of the stuff anyway, so that you have some way of, on an ongoing basis, promoting your product. The email tool is absolutely critical for that. I mean, that is almost like pretty much is a set it and forget it system, because if you craft up your emails correctly and that sort of thing, I mean, that's really building you reviews and goodwill with your customers on an ongoing basis. But some things like doing these external promotions for your Amazon product or getting reviews other ways, all that sort of stuff requires somebody to focus on that on an ongoing basis. And that's how you're really going to get the best, longest results. I mean, that's the true answer, but it doesn't mean you have to be doing all that. But I do recommend that you learn how to do all that. You sort of design what needs to be done on an ongoing basis, and then you start considering turning it off to somebody else that really puts that as part of their daily focus. So that was one question. Let me so we have a few questions. Jason definitely pretty much touched on this, but some people have questions about, can you put tracking scripts, Google Analytics on your Amazon page, all that kind of stuff? No, that's one downside of selling products on Amazon, is that you don't have access to that kind of data. You can pull a bunch of data out of your Seller Central account, but you can't really exactly tell where traffic is coming from unless you track it externally. So yeah, I can't do that.
This is a good question that you highlighted here. Should you direct traffic, such as for video marketing, to a website to get opt-ins for list, or send directly to Amazon page? My recommendation is initially send to your Amazon page because you want to initially get traffic to that and start getting sales. But 100% yes, and this kind of goes in line with what Matt was saying about how the promotion never stops. It's like, let's just say again, Silicone Spatulas, your goal is, initially you want to get, rankings for this term. and there's only so much you can do. Focus on getting that happening, and then once that's there, if you're making money and you can reinvest, have somebody else start on a leads campaign. And leads campaigns are really effective. Eventually when you have your website for your product, you can simply have something, have like free coupon codes, or get your 50% discount coupon code here or something. So on the web page, when people visit it, they'll see, oh, I can get these products for a one-time 50% off. If I opt in, they'll email me the coupon code. There's lots of things you can do, but the whole idea here is, only do so much. If we said, yeah, do that, well, then it's not really effective for you to start trying to focus on collecting leads right now when you haven't even, got traffic to your product to see if it's going to sell well. Those are the kind of things that come a little bit later. So once you've got your product selling and you see that it's converting well, absolutely start putting campaigns together to start getting leads, because those leads are also really effective for reviews. And sure, I'm assuming, Matt, that you're going to be getting into that in your training when we talk about in the later modules. Are you?
About what, collecting leads and managing customer list and that sort of thing?
Yeah, when it comes to for reviews. I can't remember if we talked about
Yeah, no,
covering that.
absolutely. That comes up in, I'd have to look back at the lesson schedule, but yeah, definitely module 7 or module 8. We
Okay,
talk about
so
managing your customer list and sort of using that to promote your same product, additional products, capturing leads, and using that to sort of do mini launches for your Amazon products. Yeah, definitely we get into that module 7 or 8. So one thing that I want to touch on real quick, sort of related to that last note, is just to sort of remind you all, is that remember in one of the earlier coaching calls or videos, I don't know, but either way, we had touched on the fact that a lot of people here have been through internet marketing courses. They've learned how to do SEO, they learned how to do PPC, how to do YouTube stuff, Facebook traffic, all that sort of stuff, which, personal opinion, all that stuff is nice, but it's really just building your skills to promote who knows what. I mean, you learn how to do a bunch of video stuff, for example. It doesn't matter if you don't have anything to sell. Then you have to go find some affiliate offer and hope that they know what they're doing. The beauty of what you've learned here is you've really gotten to the fundamentals of business, and now you actually have your own product to sell. Now it's just a matter of testing and stacking on as much traffic as you can. When you find something that works, leverage it to the moon and, really, really try to blow it up. Try to maximize that traffic while keeping everything profitable. And that's how you create a massive business literally overnight. And you can get traffic from within Amazon. We're obviously teaching you how to do that. But if you find something outside of Amazon that seems to be working well for promoting your Amazon product, and it seems to be profitable for you, then go ahead and use that. If you already know how to do stuff related to PPC, SEO, any of those other things I just mentioned, I mean, feel free to use that, because now you have your own product to promote. And this goes along with the same thing, that if you ever want to learn any of those other sort of skills, you now have a product that you can apply it to. You don't have to worry about trying to find an affiliate offer, any of that kind of stuff, because you have your own product. So something to keep in mind.
This is a great question. What Mod 5 promotional stuff can we do now if we're waiting for inventory? Do a press release announcing the launching of your product that will be on a future date. So, let's say your product's coming in May 17th. Do a promotion today. Say, ABC Company is launching brand new silicone spatula. Mark your calendars for May 18th or something like that. And the whole idea here is by doing that, yeah, you might get some visitor traffic, but really what this is going to do is going to give you the backlinks benefit that these press releases provide you. Start doing different kind of promotions. You can build content out, and we get more into this in Module 6. These are the kind of things we're talking about now, but you can really do anything, and the whole idea is you want to have all these things already in place so that when your product does go live, you've already got the rankings, you've already got the initial traffic starting. The only thing you really can't do, obviously, is the promotion tool, because if your product, if you have set your product up how Matt mentioned about putting it so coming in a future date, you can use the promotion tool. So yeah, really, there's nothing limited you can't use.
Yeah. And I mean, a huge thing you can do while you're waiting is if you, start using the YouTube and video strategies. I mean, imagine that if you're like, okay, crap, I ordered this product from China, it's a great product, great opportunity, but it's going to take me another 3, 4 weeks to get it. Some people are in that situation. It's not a bad deal. I mean, you heard from Michelle and Daniel that sometimes they waited. It took them months to get things up and running, but Daniel, for example, making $10,000 a day now, definitely worth waiting for if you have to. But in the meantime, think if you were to go out there and target your 10 to 20 biggest keywords, create videos related to those things. You get those videos start ranking on YouTube and you're getting consistent views and traffic every single day. Then whenever your product's ready, just swap out the URLs in the description. Then all of a sudden you have a built-in traffic source that you completely own. Obviously you have to follow YouTube's policies and that kind of thing, but aside from that, you can do whatever you want to do with those videos in the descriptions and swap out URLs, swap out whether you want to put a little bit of a promotion in the description, and that sort of thing. But that's something you can definitely do now, and it'll be an extremely valuable asset whenever your product goes live. Because it's not like those things get, a big burst of reviews, then nobody ever watches them again. I mean, they're consistently building views over time, which means real people watching them, and a percentage of those people doing whatever you tell them to do in the description.
And actually, like even with the video tool, you don't have to do videos about your product. You can do just topic related videos, and then in the videos, they link to your product page. So yeah, there's tons of things you can do. Hang on one sec. What was this? Oh, should your links to Amazon also be your own affiliate links? Well, no. Because especially from an SEO perspective, they'll do nothing for helping get that outside traffic. The only time I'd recommend using your affiliate links if you're doing something like, let's say, email, say you've contacted someone to be able to email their mailing list. They'll send out an ad for your product. Then I would use something like an affiliate link from your associates account to be able to track that because it has no SEO benefit. But for just doing promotions, like using our tools, no, you can't even use your affiliate links in any of our tools. Your content will be rejected.
Yeah, so I mean, from an SEO standpoint, like Jason and I, it's kind of funny you asked that because we were literally just talking about this before we got on this call. But yeah, from an SEO standpoint, like you don't want to use the affiliate links here from your because if you set up like an Amazon Associates account, which is Amazon's affiliate program, and you plug if you look up your product, the product that you're now selling on Amazon, you can promote your own product as an affiliate. This isn't, as far as I know, I've done this before to test some things out. This isn't like a policy violation. You actually make a little bit of extra money, which is kind of funny because you make an extra 4 to 6% based off of referring people to buy your own product. So as far as I know, there's no policy violation kind of thing with that. I've done it before successfully, but from an SEO standpoint, doing that doesn't really help you out. But the thing that it does let you do, which you're not able to do with just driving, traffic to Amazon, is it tells you when you got sales from that traffic. For example, like Jason mentioned, if you like found somebody that has an email list, and you're like, hey, you have an email list, I will, I want you to drop an email to promote my Amazon product. And they're like, okay, why would I do that? Where you're like, well, you can use your own Amazon Associates affiliate link, or you can use mine, either way, and we'll track it, and then I'll pay you, 50%. I mean, this is kind of an advanced strategy, so don't let this go over your head, but I'll pay you 50% per sale. So then that person's now it's like a standard affiliate offer. This kind of thing is not being done with Amazon products. And remember, with Amazon products, some of them convert 10, 20%, 30% or higher, which is insane. Which is those people were to drop an email for like some little tiny blog with like a, one shopping cart on there, and like there's no credibility there other than that person's referral. But if they're referring them to Amazon, I mean, it's insane. So like when you start thinking about that kind of thing, I mean, there's ways you can use like an associate's link to be able to track your sales from different paid media campaigns. I mean, once kind of going on, don't want to go off too much on a tangent here, but it's good for you to know and keep in the back of your head is that whenever, you've heard of people, I'm not going to mention any names, but you've heard of people, especially an internet marketing marketer that know this field, that'll do big promotions because they want to get a book on Amazon ranked at the very top, and they want to be, a #1 bestseller on Amazon with a physical book, not even talking about Kindle. And they'll actually run affiliate promotions, getting a whole bunch of affiliates to refer people to go buy their book on Amazon. And the way they'll pay those affiliates is by having those affiliates send them a report from each individual affiliate's Amazon Associates account so they could see how many book sales they referred. they'll be like, okay, cool, I'll give you, $10 per referred book sale. That's how that's done, and that kind of thing can be applied to Amazon, and you're really, it's really insane, and it's a little bit advanced, but it's something to have in the back of your in your tool bag, anyways.
Okay, and I thought I answered this question already. Somebody was like, well, how can I time when the promotion strategy of having a press release announcing a coupon? It takes 24 plus hours. So if you submit, and basically not including weekends. So if you submit your press release on Monday, chances are it's going to be published by Wednesday. So if you're, it's that's how it works. And what you can do is you can say, in the press release, announcing, and what you could do is submit a press release, say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you could have the sale going Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Well, if something offbeat happens where, let's say the sale goes a little bit longer or the press release goes out late, well, what you can do is when you set the discount up, just extend it a day. You can go in and modify the dates, but it doesn't matter what press release service you use. There could be delays with it. If you use PR Web, they could reject it for some reason and be delays. Just go with what's provided and make it work. And the other thing I want to talk about is YouTube videos. What type of YouTube videos? Do videos about, specifically about your product. Do an announcement about your product that reviews what your product is. Do ones that answer questions. What I like to do is I like to get articles created that, talk about certain things. For example, maybe it'll be 5 tips to maintaining your silicone spatula, and then turn that into a video. The big thing with video, and you're going to learn this in the YouTube Mastery thing, is you do want your videos to be, pretty decent quality, and I recommend, do not create crap videos that are just, images that, PowerPoint presentations that are images with music in the background and the odd word. Ask yourself this: would you ever sit through one of those videos and then follow through taking action on what it recommends? Absolutely not. So why waste your time and the other people's time with thinking you'll get results doing that? Provide value. Just think out of the box. What can you write an article about? Well, that's what you can write a video about. It doesn't have to be directly talking about your product initially. It can be about anything. How to, make amazing pancakes, might be a topic, and in it, you can talk about, secrets to, being able to make pancakes and how it's so important, how you, fold the, I'm just making stuff up. I'm a terrible cook. I'm good at the barbecue though. But anyway, you could move that into then recommending your product by the end of the video. And the whole thing here is you're offering value, getting people interested, and then making a recommendation. So that's all it comes down to. And mix it up. Me and Matt have played with this too, I know. Go to every now and again, throw in a fun video. Do something like you can go to Fiverr.com and, hire somebody to do different things. I don't recommend you do a lot of those videos, but, feel free to mix it up. Go to Odesk and see if you can hire people. You don't have to do anything. The only thing I do recommend, and I'm not trying, to say anything negative here, but think about it this way, and I've struggled with this too. You go, and I keep referencing Odesk, that's because the one I use. If you do hire someone from there, chances are they're not going to want to do voiceovers, and they're either going to use some kind of robotic system, so it's a robotic voice, or if they do voiceovers, meaning they actually talk in the content, they're going to have a strong accent. And, people that are buying on Amazon.com want U.S. made, and it's kind of like that idea of when the telemarketer calls and you hear this strong accent. You don't want to do that. My recommendation is you have a very clear, American-sounding voice that does your videos. That's just my personal preference, and that's what I do. But that's all I have on that.
So I'm looking through. Here's a question. I'll give my opinion, and Jason can touch on this. So, should videos just be generic review type videos, or videos on your specific product? The thing is like you don't want to be like, oh, here's a iPhone 5 case review. Learn this to buy the best iPhone 5 case, and then like you're really, kind of just promoting your own product. I mean, that's not very ethical, not exactly what you should be doing, but it doesn't mean you can't be giving advice on how to choose an iPhone 5 case. You want to choose one that's, high quality, one that fits your phone well, one that doesn't cover up the, buttons on the side. I mean, those kind of things. And then it just happens to be your product fits all those criteria, but it's still giving them good information. So in my opinion, that sort of thing is fine because if, on the other hand, if all you're doing is like, Matt's cell phone's iPhone 5 review and it's just your specific product, I mean, that's going to minimize the amount of traffic your review video is actually going to get. So it's better if it provides some sort of value, but you don't want to be, misleading, acting like it's, not what it is. So that's my opinion, anyways.
And as your business grows, you can invest more money in getting the videos done better. But honestly, just doing like nice PowerPoint presentations, recording them, ensuring that the PowerPoint presentations, like take your time, don't just have all text, like mix in images and text, but have it so that you're basically just transcribing an article. You're just reading an article, but moving the presentation along with it and offering value. They're by no means the most effective types of videos, but if that's all you can do right now, it's better than nothing, and it does work well. So those things are very easy to do.
I know we've had some people ask, and I don't think we've covered this yet, but we've had some people ask, it's like, can somebody write a review? For example, if you like give them a product, can they write a review even if they don't buy it on Amazon? It's best if they buy it on Amazon. It looks the best, looks the most credible, but doesn't by any means have to be that way. I mean, there's a lot of people going back to the book example. A lot of times when people do a lot of big book launches, they'll give out, a few hundred, a few thousand advanced copies and then tell people to go write reviews of that book on Amazon. It's following Amazon's policies. Amazon's policies state that you can give somebody a product, have them review it, and tell them to write an unbiased review of it on Amazon, but you have to give them the product to actually review first. If you follow those steps, then it's completely legitimate in Amazon's eyes, whether or not they bought it from Amazon or not. The reason Amazon doesn't have a problem with this and the reason they like it is the same reason that they rank so well in Google, other than their, just general authority for being a massive site, but it's because they have so much unique content. Whereas, a normal e-commerce store, maybe it may have like 3 reviews of some product. Amazon will have, 300. And all of a sudden, Amazon has all that unique content nobody else has. So that helps them rank better in Google, which is why they allow reviews from people that haven't even bought the product on Amazon. So as long as you do it the right way, it's perfectly fine. Although, just from an ongoing standpoint, it's ideal if the person buys the product on Amazon first.
Yeah, and just a couple extra things to add on that. You don't want any way to trace back anything that Amazon would see that if you email them and then the person. I mean, I'm being like the paranoid person I am when it comes to this. Like, do not ever mention to them, here, I'm going to send you this free product. Please post a positive review. You don't want to be doing stuff like that. It's kind of like the whole reciprocity thing. That you're giving a free product, and they'll probably rate a positive review. But that's what Amazon does not want. You cannot coerce them, force them in any way to be monetized for writing a positive review. But absolutely, they're very clear about that in their terms, that you can provide free products and ask in return for a review. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, the thing is, like, they do it all day long, actually. It's kind of funny because, like, with their Amazon Vine program, it's not a huge deal if you don't know what that is. Probably don't even worry about looking into it. But it's just Amazon's top reviewers. Those people get free products all day long in exchange for writing reviews of those products. So they're not writing reviews on Amazon. They're just writing good, valuable, sometimes crazy. I mean, they'll write multiple paragraphs. Like, I don't know who these people are that are writing these reviews, spending all day doing this. But either way, I mean, Amazon has their own internal program just like that. So it's perfectly fine if you do it, just do it the right way.
Yeah, and don't, lots of questions about this. And basically we're going to be cutting the call off here in about 6 minutes. But when it comes to reviews, don't, think, oh, I'll just provide gift cards and tell them to buy the product. you don't want like Amazon can track all that stuff, and all of a sudden they see your product suddenly get 6 reviews, and it's all from gift cards, or it's all from like let's say you go in and purchase the account and send them to them as gift, and they see, oh, all those people gave you a review. Amazon is not going to like that. You don't want to do anything like that either. This is against Amazon's policy for telling them, go buy the product and write a positive review if you're telling them specifically to do that. But if you want to tell them to do that, I mean, it's your own business, and I'm sure Amazon would never find out. But the bottom line is you cannot in any way have anything tied to Amazon where it's very obvious that these people that all did reviews somehow fit into this category, whether they were all given, a 50% discount. Like let's say, for example, you create a coupon code and you get 10 people the coupon code and suddenly all 10 of them write a review. Well, that would set off a red flag in my opinion. So, the whole idea here is they want the reviews to come natural. And it all comes down to like that's an incentive rather than they would if you give them a coupon code instead they want you to give them the product for free or have it so that you have no relationship with the review request at all. Just be really careful. I mean, I'm not trying to paranoia anyone here, but it's just not worth it. I mean, you've got to be careful, and if you're going to be tying things back into your account and they can tie them back to you, you run a risk.
So here's a question, Jason. I don't know if you have an answer to this, but this person, Cam says, besides going to Odesk or any sort of typical outsourcing site to find a press release writer, do you have any recommendations for press release writing services or writers you use? Do you have anything like that, Jason, that you actually recommend, or?
Well, we kind of hit on this when I asked you about that other writing service you use. The reality is there's no perfect system. I've hired my own press release writer. That's all that person does, because no matter what, whether Article Z, for example, Text Broker, all those sites, they'll do press releases for you, but you're going to have to review the content, make sure it's written. Occasionally you're going to get stellar ones. Occasionally you're going to get total garbage ones. There's no perfect answer to that. There is absolutely no service that I recommend right now full confidently. I've been dramatically disappointed with every one of them at one point or another, where all of a sudden you'll get content, you think you found a great service, all of a sudden you'll get a bunch of content written and you'll read it and it'll be like an obvious person that is using some type of software to create the content. So honestly, I mean, use those tools, but just understand you're going to have to moderate the content, meaning you're going to have to look at it and you might have to rewrite it a little bit. Yeah, I don't have anything else to offer on that. Sorry.
Yes, I don't see any other questions here that we haven't, for the most part, haven't covered, other than questions not related to Module 5. Does anybody have any last-minute burning questions related to Module 5?
And Christine Pradas, I believe it is. I found a really good technical writer. Look on Craigslist, so Craigslist.com, and yeah, that's a great thing. Put a job on there. I'm looking for, and just be very detailed. Say, I'm going to want 3 press releases a week or 1 press release a week, whatever. Even just 1 press release, and then if they work out well, you can use them again and again.
This is a good question. Tom asks, which tool do you find to be the most powerful out of all of them? They're all used for different things. My personal favorite, I'll let Jason give his answer too. My personal favorite is probably the email tool. This is something that does not exist anywhere else. Extremely powerful because it helps you build up, reviews literally automatically. Now, an email autoresponder is not like the world's, most groundbreaking thing, but when it comes to doing it with Amazon, I mean, there's a whole lot of integration that doesn't exist anywhere else that we've done with this tool. So it really gives you a huge, massive advantage. It's not something you like press a button, then all of a sudden your product's flying up on Amazon, but it's something that you just set up once and literally don't do anything with it other than if you sell a new product, you need to set it up for those products. But for your existing product, it just does its thing automatically, provides you a benefit that no other Amazon seller is getting. So that's my opinion.
I don't know. Bert Botta says, I've done press releases before. It's not rocket science. I'd be willing to trade services. So actually, what that brings up is, if you're looking for a press release writer, post it. We've got that thread in the forum, the services, things I have to offer or things that I need, post in there. And that's a great idea. If you're really good, let's say you're good at graphics or you can do research or there's just something you could trade with someone. The reality is, even if it'll cost you money, I mean, if this guy will write it for you and you can do a job for him that costs you out of pocket $10 and you're getting a solid press release in exchange for $10, I'm not saying that's going to happen here, but that's well worth it. So yeah, use the community and see if you can get people like that. It's a great idea. Can I submit identical press releases? No. If you've submitted a press release once, the system actually does two things. We have an internal database check, and two, it checks against Copyscape. So essentially, if you've already got a press release published on other sites, you're not going to be able to do it. But if you submit your press release, like let's say, for example, you're using PRWeb, and you submit that press release there, plus you submit it to our tool, yes, that'll go through. But if you already have an established promoted press release promoted elsewhere, it's visible online, you will not be able to use our tool. The whole idea here is, I mean, that's just getting lazy. Sorry. I mean, like, you need to write new content. You need to do things, new each time. Don't just try to like recycle old content. That won't get you the results. And just for your information, I am actually speaking right next to my microphone, so I'm not sure what to tell you on that. This one comes up all the time. This will be the last one I have, and I don't know, Matt, if you have anything else. Is it, worthwhile competing against Amazon? It's worthwhile competing against anybody, in my opinion. I mean, if Amazon's selling a product, who I'm competing against for many of my products, that's a good sign, because if they've taken the time to contact the supplier, take over their, inventory and management, and pay the supplier for the inventory, like essentially if they contacted you and said, we want to start being your supplier, that's money in your pocket, but that's because they've identified it as a consistent good seller. So of course you want to go against them. And remember, like, I guess I don't know how else to word this. It's not a linear system. It's not like if this product's here, oh my God, we can't, compete against this product. You don't have to be competing against anyone. You're building your own web page on Amazon and figure out how to get other ways of getting traffic to it. It's not just, people, I mean, think about when you go to Amazon. If you go to Amazon and you type in a term, do you automatically just pick one product and then it's like, yep, that's the one I'm going for? No, you look at different things, and it depends on how you get to the product. If I find the product because I'm on a website that all of a sudden this article refers to it and I go check it out, well, they don't even see the Amazon, supplied products. So don't worry about those kind of things. And we've really answered that one multiple times. I don't want to answer it anymore, but absolutely, just because it's sold by Amazon doesn't mean it's an untouchable market. In fact, to me, that's an encouragement that it's a profitable one. No, you cannot use the promotions in other languages. We only have English moderators right now, and we moderate to ensure that the content is good quality. Right now, we only support English language. I'm sorry.
So we've had a few questions about, and this is the last one I guess we'll probably get to, but a few questions about, like, does a reviewer of the Amazon product need to be located in the US, have a US address, all that sort of thing? They have to have an Amazon.com account. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter if they're located anywhere in the world, as long as they've ever bought anything on Amazon.com. That's all that matters, and you are good to go with those people. So yeah, I mean, I think, Jason, is there anything else you want to pull out here, or we want to close it up?
No, I have nothing else.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, everybody, thanks for joining us. So tomorrow we have Module 6 releasing. Module 6 is where we start building you additional traffic outside of Amazon and reveal some cool ways to use Amazon's own traffic and advertising platform to actually get traffic from within Amazon. So yeah, I mean, hopefully everyone is getting caught up. You're getting a product live on Amazon, or at least you're getting prepared for when you do have a product live on Amazon, so you can apply all the promotional stuff in modules 5 and module 6. But yeah, get ready. So module 6 releasing tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern, and I will talk to you all next week.
Okay, hang on one sec, Matt.
Yep.
I forgot. I have it written down, but I almost always forget about this. So let's just do this really quickly. Select the winner of the Community Helper of the Week Module 5.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got to go to our faithful old site here, the custom random number generator. So again, we've got Deb, Ray, and Mark. And Ray and Mark, I think it was you guys. Awesome job on that little HTML script. I think it was you guys, and if it wasn't, I'm sorry, but I think it was. So awesome job. Really, everyone, fantastic. Thanks so much for helping everybody out. If there's been anybody recommended, I haven't gone through my PMs. I was up till 1:30 last night and got all my PMs caught up. If there's any recommendations before that, we'll just put them into module 6. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. So we're going to put the math goodies there. 1, 5, and enter. Number 4. So congratulations to getting jiggy with it. I love that. So Jiggy, you get the 30-minute phone call. I'll PM you the details of how we can arrange that. So congratulations to Jiggy. And again, thanks to all the community helpers of the week. We truly, truly appreciate all the extra effort you guys put in. And that's all I have. So adios, everybody.
See y'all later.
The organizer has ended the session.